A Triumph of Surgery by James Herriot. In this story, he tells Tricki, a dog, falls ill. This was due to his overcaring by his owner, Mrs. Pumphrey. But then, it happened that. No. Let's watch it yourself. James Herriot is a vet surgeon. Mrs. Pumphrey is a rich lady. She gives very much care to her dog, Tricki. Oh, what happened to Tricki? He has become hugely fat, like a bloated sausage. His eyes are bloodshot. Bloated sausage means swollen meat.
He was so listless, Mr. Herriot. He have no energy. I thought he is suffering from malnutrition. So, I've been giving him some extras to build him up. Some malt, cod liver oil, and a Horlicks at night to make him sleep. It's nothing much.
And did you cut down on the sweet things, as I told you?
Oh, I did it, for a bit. But, he seems so weak. He loves ice creams, and cakes, and chocolates. I can't refuse him.
Tricki's only fault is greed. He never refused to eat. He can eat anything, at any hour. And upon this, Mrs. Pumphrey is providing sweet things to him. Are you giving him plenty of exercise?
Yes. He has some little walks with me, as you can see.
Now, I really mean this. If you don't cut his food down, and don't give him exercise, he is going to be really ill. You must harden your heart, and keep him on a strict diet.
Oh, I will, Mr. Herriot. I'm sure you are right. But, it's very difficult. Okay.
Mr. Herriot watched the progress. Tricki had a whole wardrobe of coats. Coats for the cold weather, coats for rain. Mr. Herriot guessed Tricki will become more ill, and Pumphrey's call will come soon. The call came in a few days.
Tricki is eating nothing. He's refusing even his favorite dishes. He is vomiting. He spends all his time lying on a rug. He don't want to go on walks.
Mr. Herriot thought the only way to recover Tricki was to get him out of his house. Otherwise, Mrs. Pumphrey will make him even more ill.
Mrs. Pumphrey. Tricki has to be admitted into the hospital for about a fortnight.
A fortnight is a period of 2 weeks.
He will die if he will not see me.
But Tricki is very ill, and this is the only way to save him. And it will be good if he will be taken out without delay. Mr. Herriot entered his car, carrying the little dog, wrapped in a blanket. The maids of Mrs. Pumphrey rushed in and out, bringing his day bed, night bed, cushions, toys and rubber rings, breakfast bowl, lunch bowl, supper bowl. Mr. Herriot thought his car will not be able to hold stuff anymore. So, he started to drive away. At the surgery, the other dogs surrounded Mr. Herriot. Tricki looked at them, laying motionless on the carpet. The dogs sniffed around Tricki. After some time, they found him uninteresting, and ignored him. Herriot made a bed for Tricki, in a loose warm box, next to the one where other dogs slept. For 2 days, he kept an eye on him, giving him no food, but plenty of water. Then, Tricki started to show some interest in his surroundings. Now, Tricki is interested in playing with the other dogs. I will give him food now, but no medicines. From then on, his progress was rapid. He had no medical treatment of any kind. All day, he just ran with the dogs, joining in their friendly fights. He discovered the joys of being with them. He became an accepted member of the dogs' gang, an unlikely object in the crew, fighting like a tiger and hunting rats at night. He had never had such a time in his life. Mrs. Pumphrey asked about Tricki dozen times a day. Mr. Herriot would say that he was recovering rapidly. But, when Mrs. Pumphrey came to know that Tricki was recovering, she started to bring eggs, 2 dozen at one time, to build up his strength. She also sent wine and brandy for him. But, nothing was given to Tricki. Instead, Mr. Herriot and his assistants enjoyed the foodstuff. Because Tricki didn't need this type of diet. I want to keep Tricki on as a permanent guest. Because I want the meal every day. But, I know, Mrs. Pumphrey is suffering. I'll call her. Mrs. Pumphrey, the little dog has recovered, and is waiting.
I'm coming.
Within minutes, she arrived by car.
Harriet, please tell me the truth. Is he really better?
Yes! He is fine. You don't need to get out of the car. I'll go and fetch him. He went in. A mass of dogs were hurtling round and round. And in the middle was the little Tricki. He had been transformed to a hard-muscled animal. When Mr. Harriet brought him to the gate, Tricki jumped down from his arms and
Ooh.
Mr. Harriet helped to bring out the toys, cushions, beds, coats, bowls, which were sent by her. But none of them were used.
Oh. Mr. Harriet. How can I thank you? This is a triumph of surgery.
It was a triumph of surgery. But no surgery was done with Tricki. James Harriet just gave him little food and a lot of exercise with other dogs. If you have any question about this chapter, you can ask in the comments section. Please like my video and subscribe my channel. Why? Because you will get more awesome videos on my channel. Stay tuned.